This is Tom Myers, Superintendent of the Bellevue Community School District in Bellevue, Iowa, coming to you with this week's Believe in the Blue update. This is an update from the most recent board meeting. Want to let you know of a few things coming up. This is homecoming week in our entire district that way. We have the homecoming parade for all students to either participate in or to watch. And that is on Friday, starting at 2:45. We take off from Horizon Hall, and we end at the Bellevue Elementary School. A lot of excitement once again. The high school did have powder puff last evening, had a bonfire last evening, and just different things happening all week with dress up days. One thing when we look at this year, starting off the year, our enrollment, we have had an increase in enrollment. Again, we have 3 sections of kindergarten, first, second, and third. First time in many years. I've been here 18 years, and we have never had that situation with more than 1 grade, except for last year we had 2 grades or 3 grades. So that's a positive trend for us in that regard. We're looking at an increase overall in enrollment of roughly 20 students, 15 to 20 students on count day. They count things a little differently that way. But account day is October 1st, and we finalize everything by October 15th. So that is a positive for our entire district and our staff. Comment finances and review. Wanted to let people know some general information about that. Our finances, we were in a positive manner last year, saved roughly about $200,000. We did have some extra COVID funds that helped out. We spent about $275,000, but overall we were up in our general fund accounts, and that is a good thing for our district and our future. We are still in very solid position with our unspent budget authority, and that's the amount of money that you can spend legally in the state of Iowa on students. It's kind of a confusing formula, and I'd be happy to sit down sometime and speak with anyone about that. We also have some articles in the paper from the past. Facilities update. The board did hire a firm to do an assessment of the elementary building and what it would take to bring all parts of that building up to code with different things from electrical, fire systems, windows, ADA, air quality, on down the line. So that assessment will be happening in the next few months. Should have a report ideally by January, if not before. That is something that the board really wanted to do based on input from our last bond referendum. The board also discussed briefly the River Valley Conference, the conference that our athletic teams all participate in. And they are looking to add both Maquoketa and Dyersville Beckman. This would reduce our travel because we would split into a North Division and a South Division. Schools in our division would likely be Northeast, Comanche, Anamosa, Cascade, Monticello, Maquoketa, and Beckman, with the other schools being in the South Division. So one of the biggest arguments we hear is the amount of travel. Well, there would not be very much travel, if any, to the Mid-Prairie, Iowa City, Regina, West Branch, places like that that are farther away. So I want to let everyone know about that. There's more information about that on the website under comment highlights as well. Talked about the Iowa Association of School Boards Conference. I encourage people to attend that. We did appoint a delegate to that, and that is our president, Mike Reed. So he will be the delegate. The delegates at this time for the Iowa Association of School Boards Conference, and that is in November 17 and 18. The board also looked at cybersecurity, where we are combining with the consortium of schools in Mississippi Bend AEA to have some tests run on our websites, on our student information, and everything like that as a whole. That is going to be done probably sometime in December, January, November, sometime in that area. We will get feedback from that from our entire AEA, but also from our district itself, and look at ways that possibly we are not secure. We believe we have good firewalls up for things, but 95% of the school districts in the state of Iowa, or across the nation, I should say, have been shown that they could be hacked by hackers. So just something to be aware of. We are checking that out and taking that very seriously. We currently monitor things very closely right now, but this will give us more information as that becomes more prevalent. Comment reading and reflection this week. I shared a book called Different Schools for a Different World. That's by Scott McLeod and Dan Chersky. It's a book that talks about redesigning the way school looks, redesigning the way school works. And one of the sections was called the boredom argument. Students are bored in school. And one thing that we've asked our teachers in the past and continue to ask them, that this book also asks, would you want to be a student in your own classroom as a teacher? And I think that's a very important question to ask. And then the second chapter they read was on innovation and what we need to do to change education. What are things that are happening across the state and across the nation to have innovation in education, new experience for students, and not looking at the textbook, do these questions online. We have pushed away from that over the last several years anyway, but there's a continual trend to do more and more personalized learning with students, to really look at students' interests, to develop curriculum around students' interests and students' needs while still meeting the educational standards that are extremely necessary for our students. Some information items I shared dealt with extracurricular events and homecoming week that I just shared a little bit ago. There's an AEA board administrator banquet with Trevor Reagan. He's a national speaker on growth mindset. Fortunately, our district is actually bringing him in to speak to all staff on November 1st. And then he will be here for students on November 2nd all day, plus then an evening with parents on November 2nd and other community members. So you'll be hearing more about that in the next few weeks. I encourage you to attend that. That'll be, once again, Trevor Reagan, the growth mindset concept that way, jungle tiger, zoo tiger. Basically, we want people who can survive out in the jungle, who have their instincts, that can see what's going on and can react. So he will be here for all parents and community members on November 2nd. We talked about our assessment schedule of different assessments that we give, and looking at, we want to measure student learning, but we also want to keep students in class and learning as well, or in a learning environment. Maybe that's not within the school walls, but at least within a learning environment. Then we adjourn. Our next meeting is on October 11th, 2021. So I encourage you to come out and enjoy homecoming festivities. The concession stand at the football game always has an outstanding menu of items for people at homecoming and any evening that way as well. Also have home volleyball games on Tuesday and Thursday this week. That is middle school through high school. That starts at 4:15. High school starts at 6:30 or 6 o'clock, excuse me. And then we also have a home cross country meet at the Bellevue Golf Course tonight, which is Monday night. Have a great week, everyone. Talk to y'all later.